synthesizers? How do you work? Because I've so many documentary of Depeche Mode, and especially of you, Martin, working on computer. Do you still working in that way, lots with computer? How do you manage technology now? Because we are living in a big world of samplers and sampling. So how do you feel now?
Well, I have a studio at home, and you know, when I'm writing songs, I usually start on guitar or maybe at a piano, just to get the basic song down, to make sure that you don't get taken away by the technology and confuse yourself and think you've got a really good song when it's not a good song at all. So I'll usually start doing that and then move on to working with computers and samplers and synthesizers.
When you're...
So it's also quite strange at the moment because we've been going around Europe doing lots of interviews, and everyone's telling us that electronic music is back.
Yes, sure.
It's very hard for us to accept that it's back because we never saw it go.
The thing is, it never really went away, or I don't think it really affects us that much. We just do the best we can with the limitations that we have.
It's just funny because journalists now sort of treat us as being the kings of the whole movement and the grandfathers of the whole electronic music. But we've spent the last 15 years defending ourselves in interviews all over Europe and America, whatever. So it's very strange for us. It's quite a good position to be in, though.
But when you are listening to bands such as Prodigy, maybe, or Chemical Brothers,
or even
those Black, don't you think they've stolen you something?
There's actually quite a lot of good French music.
I think pop music's all about
French
pop music's all about stealing ideas. I don't think there's any original ideas anymore.
You mean that we are recycling all the time? Yeah. We are recycling, and we are going to enter a new.
There's a it's a creative process where you can, I think subconsciously you take influences from other things and you kind of reinvent it yourself and you put your own stamp on it. I think Depeche Mode has been very good at doing that. We've managed to kind of create our own niche, and we've reinvented ourselves many times, really.
Without the envy of maybe making a solo career for all of you, you still have the envy of being a band.
I don't think there's been much time to do a solo career. I mean, I know Martin and Alan have had small projects, but there hasn't been much time, really. I mean, this is what we're going to try and change, is to...
One's enough.
To give ourselves...
one project.
Yeah. One project's enough, really.
Sorry. We're just trying to give ourselves more time now to enjoy our life and not to sort of give ourselves too much to do, as such.
Have you got the envy to make a world tour again, a big world tour? Such as you did with Songs of Faith and Devotion?
No.
Definitely not.
Maybe never as big as that, but maybe next year,
we have no
do some
plans
concerts
at the moment to tour.
Yeah.
It'd be silly to repeat what we did before and expect it to be any different.
Playing your whole song on stage can be very...
No, on tour is fantastic. On the stage is fantastic. It's not a problem.
It's not to do with... I mean, if to answer to your question, live performance is really where I feel kind of most comfortable, singing live in front of an audience and get immediate reaction. You feel something working. It's the recording process, although it's very creative in that way, and you're doing something new. It's a very slow process. You don't get an immediate reaction really until you've finished the album, and then even then, it's very hard to have a perspective on whether you think it's good or not for a while.
And so with this album, you want to break the rule that making an album, then touring, making an album, then touring.
It'd be nice to go back in the studio again, even, I mean, it's... we've got to release more... We haven't released a record in 4 years. I mean, that's a long time.
I think it'd just be nice, it'd be nice to, just put this record out and to, and just enjoy it. And enjoy the fact that we finished it, that we completed a record together, and against kind of all odds, really, during the making of it and before, and not kind of try and make too many plans for the future. Planning in the future, planning ahead all the time, you're missing out on the moment.
We are living something quite new, quite a new age of music. Do you think that we can live the same explosion than the 80s of electronic music songs again?
Well, you know, it's at the moment it looks that way. It looks like electronic music is becoming more popular, but I guarantee within 3 or 4 years it'll be back to guitar music. I mean, this is the way it goes. At the end of the day, you just got to be true to yourself and try and make music which you like.
I think too much emphasis is based on, like, you know, the instrumentation of, like, what you do. You know, it's just a feeling, you know, it's an emotion from yourself, you know, it's like what you do.
I mean, Oasis just released a great record that sounds 60s record, retro almost, yeah, but it's brilliant, you know. It's a great track, and there's no electronics in that.
That's true. But you were talking about feelings, Dave, which is very... On the brand new album, your voice seems to have changed in a way. You are much more playing with the ambience of your voice. Did you make this record, did you record the voice on the first track? You want to catch the feeling on the first track,
Tape.
First take. Thank you very much, Mark.
I worked for a long while with a vocal coach, and I hadn't done that for a long while. I'd done that since we began. I didn't even do it properly then, and I found that what I learned was that my voice is an instrument, and it needs to be. It's something that you need to practice at to get better, and you never stop learning, really. And your limitations are only based on where you set them, really. You know, you can constantly improve yourself, and I found that to be very kind of fulfilling during the last 6 months of making of the album. That all the work that I did was paying off. I gained a lot of confidence for myself as a singer, and you know, felt like I was really contributing something musically to the sound of Depeche Mode, which is very fulfilling, you know.
Because on Barrel of Gun, your voice seems to be completely different on the first single. It's not the same, but when we are listening the entire album, we are close to the whole Depeche Mode in a way, the Depeche Mode that we know. So it means that maybe the lyrics, between the lyrics and the music,
you know, the mood and the atmosphere of a song dictates very much like what I want to do. I actually prefer singing more ballads, really, nowadays.
Such as Condemnation, maybe?
Yeah, Condemnation, Sister of Night, Lovely. I just find there's a lot more emotion in it, you know. Find it does something to me emotionally a lot more.
Also, it's nice with music more minimal as well.
I don't like
the vocals.
Space, I don't space in the music.
More space for the Dave's voice.
I like the naivety of it, and I like it when it sounds vulnerable. I don't like it when it sounds too produced, because it takes away any of the emotion for me.
I'd like to know for that question, compared to the 80s, you know, in England, where there's a kind of a battle of the charts, because your single, if it's not released in 1 week, he's dead. So what do you think about the battle of the charts? I mean, you have to put a single, if he's not in the charts in 1 week, he's dead.
Charts, you know, you have to forget about charts. I mean, they don't mean a thing, really. It's just a big ego thing for us, or whatever.
To be honest, I think
you just got to make the music as good as possible.
The success for me is finishing the record, you know, and then it's out of our hands. It's all about, you know, you become a sales, you know, you become a box of cornflakes, you know.
It is called Depeche Mode Ultra.
We're used to
it is a product.
You become a product. You know.
Naming Ultra, it means that a real Depeche Mode? What do you mean by naming your new album Ultra?
The new super slimmed down improved version. Of course.
Ultra slim.
Ultra slim.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode, dont je vous le rappelle, le nouvel album